Live edition of Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Welcome in on a wet start to your Wednesday morning. Today we are live from Bill Penney Toyota. We normally sit here on a Monday, but today is our day that we're here at Bill Penney Toyota. We're sitting out here in the service department. Welcome in. Their doors are open. Their doors are ready to service your vehicles here at Bill Penney Toyota, 256-837-1111. That is the number 2, Bill Penney Toyota. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., you can get your car serviced here at Bill Penney Toyota. So get on out here. And then while you're here, you can mosey over to the showroom, take a look at all those fine Toyotas, and pick yourself one out. And then after you pick it out, you buy it, you drive it, bring it back in here to get it serviced. The good thing is here at Bill Penney Toyota right now, you can buy 3 tires. You can get the 4th one for $1. That is here at Bill Penney Toyota. If you want to, make sure you tune in this morning. You can watch us on YouTube and Twitch TV. You can watch the whole entire 2 hours right there. Talking Ball, $3 or buy 3 tires, get that 4th one for $1 here at Bill Penney Toyota. All right, welcome in. We do want you to be a part of the fun, the excitement, and everything that we have going on for the next 2 hours. 256-576-4977. That is the number 2, the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want to hear from you on a Wednesday morning. What do we have in store for you today? Well, we're going to talk a little golf for you because Tiger Woods appears to be on track to tee it up tomorrow morning from the Masters. And I say appears to be on track, and we'll let you know what he said yesterday and what that could mean for today and how that could impact for the rest of the week, and then your expectations on Tiger Woods. If Tiger Woods does indeed tee it up from the Masters tomorrow, what would be your expectations? Does it cause you or will it make you watch the Masters even more? If you love the golf tournament itself, you were probably going to watch it anyway. Remember, this is a Masters that will be without Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson not playing in the Masters. So if Tiger did not play or does not play, we would be missing Tiger and Phil. But all signs do point to Tiger Woods teeing it up tomorrow morning. We'll explain all that here in just a little bit. Did he or did he not? Is he or is he not, I should say, Ajay Hall, part of the Alabama football team? We'll fill you in on the latest there. Plus, we'll get you ready for Auburn's A-Day game, which is set for Saturday. So, like I said, we have got a lot of stuff to get through, a lot of stuff on the table this morning. But 256-576-4977, that is the number 2, the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and you can get in on the show and everything that is going on this morning. We do start with Tiger Woods, and we talked about it just a second ago. Tiger Woods saying yesterday, as of right now, he feels like he is going to play. That was Tiger Woods yesterday from Augusta, the Masters press conference. That was ahead of the Champions Dinner, which they had last night on the grounds of Augusta National. Now, what does it all mean for today? Well, here is what it means today. Tiger Woods, this all started when he last Tuesday, he flew into Augusta and played Augusta National on Tuesday. Then showed back up on Sunday, this past Sunday, showed up on Sunday, played a practice round again. Was back on the course on Monday, knocked out another practice round with Justin Thomas and his longtime friend Fred Couples. That is where the optimism really began that Tiger Woods would end up playing in the Masters. Yesterday, then, he says, as of right now, I feel like I am going to play. Tiger today is planning on playing another 9 holes today as a practice round. Now, this is where we say we feel like he is going to play. Fred Couples saying yesterday that Tiger looked very impressive out on the course. If all goes well today, if everything goes well today, there is no reason to believe that Tiger Woods will not play tomorrow. So tomorrow, the Masters does get underway in Augusta. Here are your tee times for tomorrow, in case you are wondering. Tiger Woods is set to tee off at 9:34 tomorrow morning. Tiger will play with Louis Oosthuizen and Joaquin Niemann tomorrow morning. So that is your Masters tee time. Now, Florence native Stuart Sink will get off during our show tomorrow morning. Stuart Sink will play with Brian Harmon and Harry Higgs. They will tee off at 8:06. Tomorrow morning when we start our show at 7 o'clock, that'll be the first set of golfers going out from Augusta National. Jose Maria Olazabal will go off at 7 o'clock with J.J. Spann. So the Masters does get underway tomorrow, and all signs do point to Tiger Woods. Now the question is, what will the outcome be for Woods? Will he make it through the weekend? Will he not make it to the weekend? Will he miss the cut? Will he be in contention? Should we think of Tiger simply because it's Tiger playing Augusta that he should be in contention? It's a miracle that he's going to be teeing it up tomorrow anyway. When we sit back here next week, what are the expectations? Should we talk about Tiger Woods? It's a miraculous thing that he's even walking the course, because Augusta is not flat. It is hilly.
It really is. I mean, it's pretty stunning. It was something that really, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks ago, was never even going through anyone's mind that Tiger would be back at Augusta playing competitive golf. And if he's there, as we are highly anticipating on Thursday, it's going to be the storyline of the entire tournament. And if he gets to Saturday and makes the cut, after not playing for 17 months, I think, it will be gripping the entire world. I mean, if he's even if he's not in contention by the middle of the third round, people will still be watching him so closely. But
just because he's playing,
but if he's got there with a shot, in the top 5 or 10, it's going to be. I mean, the TV ratings are going to be off the charts, and they're going to sell a lot of pimento cheese sandwiches. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable, and it's going to be unbelievable anyway, because this is probably going to be the first time since the pandemic that we've had a normal Masters.
It is the first time.
Yeah, and so there will be 50,000 people, walking that course. So it's going to be a madhouse starting Thursday, tomorrow.
All right, again, 256-576-4977. Does Tiger Woods playing in the Masters make a difference to you? Would you have watched the Masters if Tiger Woods does not play? Or is Tiger the reason why you will tune in maybe extra during the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday stretch from Augusta? Again, 256-576-4977. That's the number 2. The Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Tomorrow morning, as I mentioned, the tournament will get underway when our show gets underway tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. Lee Westwood will tee off at 11:13 tomorrow. Sergio Garcia will tee off a little bit after 12 o'clock. Jordan Spieth will tee off at 12:52. Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka will tee off on the last tee time of the day. They go at 1:03. I'm just trying to scroll through here real fast. Your defending champion, Hideki Matsuyama, will tee off tomorrow at 9:45 in the morning. And I'm just trying to see. I know Justin Thomas is in there. There he is. 9:45 tomorrow morning. He is in the tee time right after Tiger Woods. So it's Tiger Woods, Louis Oosthuizen, Joaquin Niemann at 9:34. And then at 9:45, Hideki Matsuyama, Justin Thomas, and, of course, the amateur will be playing with them, and that's James Piot. So
my guy Louis Oosthuizen.
There is your tee times for tomorrow. So
yeah, looking forward to it. And the last time I can remember Tiger, playing was, I guess it's been 3 years ago that he won it, and that was, of course, when I was able to allow my father and my mother and my cousin Janet and her husband to. Was able to get tickets for them to go to a Masters round on the weekend, and the weather wasn't great, but my father got a chance to walk the course. They had a lot of rain. Hopefully. We've had some weather this week, but hopefully it's going to get out of there, and you're going to have great weather conditions. It's probably the greatest week in golf year in and year out. The Masters. It's unbelievable, and looking forward to that. And we're, of course, I know we'll hear from Charlie Plott hopefully this week from Plott Performance, and he's our golf analyst. Does a great job. Give us his thoughts on this Masters and what he expects from Tiger, what he sees out of him, and just give us some thoughts on who may win this golf tournament. I'm not going to say Tiger's going to win it. He hasn't played in 17 months. Now, I wish I knew and could predict the future that he would. I'd put some money down on it and make a ton. But certainly, he's going to be polarizing like he always did. He's going to draw advertisers, draw people to the event even more, whether it be in person or on television. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be the story of the weekend. Besides Major League Baseball getting cranked up.
That's about where we were going next. Well, tomorrow the Masters gets underway in the morning and goes all the way through the day. By the way, you'll be able to, if you can't watch the Masters, just tune in to 97.7 ESPN The Zone this weekend. You'll be able to hear golf on the radio. It is a great visual if you want to listen to some golf on the radio. Also, Major League Baseball hits the diamond tomorrow. There were a lot of people, maybe, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but there were several people that probably felt like Major League Baseball wouldn't get to this point because of the lockout, and it didn't look good that we were going to get baseball. But tomorrow, indeed, we will have baseball. There are 9 games hitting the diamond tomorrow, and of course, one of those just so happens to be the defending World Series champion, the Atlanta Braves. Yesterday, the Braves unveiled their champion jerseys. Yep. This is something that started, 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago, a little bit. The World Series defending champions play, I think it's usually their first series, in a gold style type of uniform. When the Kansas City Royals won theirs, the KC became gold for that homestand, and they changed it up a little bit. The Atlanta Braves unveiling their gold jerseys yesterday for the homestand, but they will be taking on, I had it right here in front of me, the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and you'll be able to hear some of that game right here. Or you'll be able to hear that game on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. But you got Milwaukee and the Cubs tomorrow. You got the Nationals and the Mets, the Royals and the Indians, the Twins and the Mariners, the Cardinals and the Pirates, the Diamondbacks and the Padres, and the Angels and Astros, and the Yankees and Red Sox have already been postponed. So we already have a postponement for opening day. But Major League Baseball in full swing tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. And Scott, just a month ago, this didn't seem possible with the labor situation.
That's what I thought. I don't think a lot of people thought we were going to see
I thought maybe June the 1st, something like that. I thought we might miss the first couple of months and have another one of those abbreviated seasons because, as you know, Rob Manfred, another one of my favorite people, he's like the cousin of Mark Emmert. But anyway,
I don't know. Mark Emmert's.
Well, I've got to give my man Jeff Goodman a shout out. He did tweet again yesterday. I still want to congratulate the Kansas City Jayhawks on winning the national championship last night. But yeah, I mean, Rob Manfred, he was canceling series and had canceled a couple of weeks, and it just didn't look good that we would get 162 games in.
Right.
It looked acrimonious, but they were able to get the deal done, and certainly we're all excited about it. Depressing that Freddie Freeman's now in the hell known as Los Angeles, but the Braves were aggressive. They got Matt Olson. They're still the defending champions. The rest of the offseason, to me, if you're a Braves fan, went beautifully. The only bad part of camp, and we talked about it last week, the only bad news so far, Luke Jackson. He looks like he has an elbow situation, probably going to miss the season. But unfortunately, year to year, you never know about pitching injuries. And so, he certainly, I think, with Kenley Jansen being brought in via free agency, that lengthened the bullpen. I think that that will help mitigate that loss because Luke had a great year last year.
Right.
But again, just excited to see the Braves defend their title. And as you said, the gold trim was everywhere on social media yesterday. And I did not buy anything yet for those that may ask.
I wouldn't. When the Cubs won theirs,
You didn't buy any of the gold, the gold trim jerseys?
Didn't buy any of the gold trim jerseys.
Or a hat or anything.
To have a World Series champion hat, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's all.
But I'm guessing
I even bought that. I
think that was probably the one they wore after the game. That's the one you have.
Yeah. I didn't even buy that. I think I was given that.
Yeah,
somewhere.
a gift somewhere.
But no, I didn't buy anything. I don't know. All right, I tell you what. I tell you who might know a lot more about the Atlanta Braves. That is Bill Shanks.
Yep.
When we come back, Bill Shanks will join us as we preview the Atlanta Braves opening series and New Year.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I love overpriced stuff. That's why I get my internet from the other guys. What could be better?
Wow is better. Get Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Sign up at Huawei.com.
Wow.
Limited to new customers with auto-pay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation. Commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Just got a wreck at Governor's in Montgomery. It's coming in as a no injury, and it sounds like it's going to a parking lot. Had one in the 600 block of Burwell near Quarter Mountain. They reported it with injuries, but they have now cleared it off the board. Traffic level heavy. You be careful. Watch for the fog. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
All the press conferences.
It's our mental energy. I would say spend less time complaining about, when I was going to get an opportunity. Just spend more time training and working towards.
Plus, all of the rat poison is served up right here.
It's yummy.
On 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And welcome back to Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you live from Bill Penney Toyota, sitting out here in the service department Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5. You can get your vehicle serviced here at Bill Penney Toyota. Let the fine folks here at Bill Penney Toyota take care of your cars. And right now, you buy 3 tires, you can get that 4th one for $1. It's their tire savings event here at Bill Penney Toyota. And they're number one for service. They're number one for vehicles. Right now, the number one team in the major leagues is the Atlanta Braves because they are the defending World Series champions. They will open up that defense tomorrow. Last year, there were expectations for that Braves team, and it wasn't until after the All-Star break that they started really playing up to those expectations. I should say the trade deadline. They started playing up to those expectations, and it was with a completely different roster than what it started with. Going into this year, Drew, the expectations for this Atlanta Braves team are even higher than they were last year, and last year culminated with a World Series title.
Yeah, and no doubt, and I know there's some severe weather that passed through the state of Georgia yesterday, and we're praying for all those folks. In fact, it was very close to our next guest, about 2 miles from him, and so we hope everyone is okay, and we certainly appreciate him for joining us this morning. If there's anyone that knows the Atlanta Braves backwards and forwards, it's our next guest from 3 to 7 Eastern, 2 to 6 Central, each and every day, Monday through Friday. You can hear the Bill Shanks Show on the superstations.com, and there's tons of Braves conversation, and I know he's super excited for the world champion. It still sounds beautiful. Atlanta Braves to defend their title starting tomorrow at home against the Cincinnati Reds, and that is Bill Shanks, who's joining us right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Bill, it's always an honor to speak with you. You're with Drew and Scott here at Bill Penney Toyota. How are you?
Good morning, Drew. Scott, how are y'all doing?
Doing really good, and hard not to get excited for tomorrow. I mean, the state of Georgia is going to have every eyeball on it imaginable. You got the Masters in the morning and the afternoon, and then the Braves will take to the stage tomorrow night.
It's a great day. Hopefully the weather will get out of here. It's supposed to, and then get kind of cold tomorrow. But it's going to be like 58 at game time tomorrow night, which is going to be kind of interesting. But nonetheless, it don't matter. We're ready to go and just excited about it and ready to see them introduced as the world champions, and I think that place is going to be packed, standing room only, and they're going to be just chomping at the bit to see this new team, which is new. They've got a significant number of new players on it, obviously, and as most years bring, new faces, and but it's still a roster that looks like one of the best they've had in many years.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Bill, and I know recently you had a chance to speak with your good friend Brian Snitker. You guys go back many, many years. He wins his first World Series. I know this was a few days ago on the Bill Shanks show, but I wanted to ask what his thoughts were and his mood going in. I know he hated to lose a stalwart like Freddie Freeman to free agency, but you already talked about some of the new pieces, one of those being Matt Olson coming over from the Oakland A's in that massive trade that Alex Anthopoulos pulled off. What's Brian Snitker's mindset and mood going into this opening weekend and this World Champions Week, so to speak, Champions Week for the Atlanta Braves?
Well, he felt good about how spring training had gone. Obviously, we're going to have to see how all teams kind of perform out of the gate with the truncated spring training, but he felt good about how the camp had gone and how everybody had bought in. I think the one thing that has been created there by Brian Snitker is a culture of expectations to where this team, and some writers who have been down there, I've not been down there this spring, but some writers who have been down there have noticed and written about the fact that this team is not walking around cocky, thinking their poop doesn't stink, that they're the champions, that get out of our way, we're going to be 162-0. Instead, they're turning the page and they're saying, all right, that was last year, this is this year. And while last year was unbelievable and magical and miraculous and everything you want to say about it, this is a new year that's going to present new challenges for 6 months, and I don't know how many more challenges they can have compared to last year, but obviously just a new year, and we've got to go out and do it again. We've got to go out and play well again, and we're hungry for more winning. We got a taste of it and saw how great it was, and I love the comment by Will Smith when they asked him about if he was okay with them bringing in Kenley Jansen. He said, I want to win a ring again. That was fun. Let's do it again. And, I think that's the thing that I take away from everything more than just what's been written and said about the team this year, is that this group is just really focused on this year so well and done a great job of compartmentalizing what happened last November the 2nd, that they're not going to walk around resting on their laurels of what they did, and they're going to come out ready to go for 2022, and that's what you want any championship team to do.
Well, Bill, do you think it's a little easier to kind of focus on this year because there are there are several new faces in this lineup. Matt Olson is in there, as you mentioned. Kenley Jansen's in there. Does it make it a little easier to kind of refocus a little bit when the whole entire core is not there?
A little bit, and I think change is good for a roster. I think you can look back on the Braves' run in the '90s and wonder if they'd have made a change here or there, would they have had another world championship? That's a good discussion for another time. But I think that normal attrition in a roster is not necessarily a bad thing. And I'm not throwing Freddie under the bus there, but I thought a lot during the lockout about, all right, if Freddie leaves, yeah, he's a piece that's been there for a long time. But if the right person is brought in to replace him, which I think the perfect person was, how positive a situation can that be? And I think that's something we'll see. This is a talented young man who they brought in, who's 4.5 years younger than Freddie Freeman, and who has tremendous talent. And so I'm really anxious to see. I don't think there's going to be a downturn at all, because when you got talent, period. And so, but I think change can be good. I mean, there's you can talk and debate about, all right, Braves infield have been together for a few years. Freeman, Albies, Swanson, and then Riley looked like something that could be together for a while if Freddie had come back, but obviously he didn't. So now what? And I think we'll see that or now what part this year.
No doubt, Bill, and for our listeners, we know Ronald Acuna is not going to be with the ball club coming out of spring training and be back in the lineup yet. They're taking their time with him. coming back from the ACL injury. But talk about how this lineup may look and when we may see Acuna back in his usual spot in the lineup. And where does he fit? Is it still right field? Could we see him in center field? Where does Ronald Acuna fit when he comes back as well?
Yeah, he'll be in right field. They would prefer to play him in right field. I mean, the center field situation and the defense in the outfield is going to be something to watch. I mean, if you we want to talk about the weaknesses of this team, I think there's no doubt you have a question about the defense. Rosario can be kind of lost to the fog sometimes, as he proved last year. And Duvall's not the most perfect center fielder in the history of the sport by any means. So they would rather not play Acuna in center field. So, I think that's going to be one thing to watch. But I think Ronald will be back at the end of April, sometime toward the end of April, and he'll start as a DH, and then they'll gradually put him out there in the outfield and see how he does, make sure he's okay, make sure the leg is responding to more activity, and go from there.
Well, Bill, when you look at this lineup, what do you like most about it going into opening day?
I think 1 through 9 is just really deep. I mean, even without Acuna, and you've got Alex Dickerson or William Contreras or however he's going to put it together, I think there's just really good hitters in the lineup. I mean, Dickerson he's a good hitter. He's done well. He's had some injury issues that have kept him from having full seasons, but he can hit, and we'll have to learn more about him and watch him. He's a left-handed bat. They put William Contreras on the roster. I think part of the reason why is to occasionally have him as the DH because he can hit. His catching is suspect. That's why they're going to move him around a little bit in the outfield and maybe in the infield as well because of his athleticism. But I just think 1 through 9, no matter how Brian Snitker puts this lineup together, it's going to be just, I think it's just going to be awesome. An incredible lineup. I mean, I think he's going to lead off with Ozzie against left-handed pitchers and lead off with Rosario against righties and kind of go from there with Olsen and Ozuna and Riley there. That's another thing that people don't get about this year's team is Marcell Ozuna's back, and he wasn't there last year. We can talk about Acuna. They won the World Series without Acuna. They also won the World Series without Ozuna, and Ozuna was like 4th in the MVP voting year before last. So I know what he did was horrible, and a lot of people are ticked off that he's still there, but he's not going anywhere. He's still a very good hitter and could do very well for his team. So I think that lineup's just as deep as it's ever been.
And we're talking to Bill Shanks of the SuperSages.com, the Bill Shanks Show, talking some Atlanta Braves. We are the home for the Atlanta Braves here in Madison County in North Alabama. But, Bill, as far as pitching goes, the one negative story, I guess, coming out of spring training has been Luke Jackson and his likely loss due to an arm injury from the bullpen. He was huge last year in a setup role, but you mentioned Kenley Jansen already, brought over from the Los Angeles Dodgers, longtime closer. How does this affect the bullpen? From what you told us at the beginning of our conversation, it sounds like Will Smith is completely on board with bringing in Jansen, even though he was really, really good the second half of last year at the back end of the bullpen.
Well, Will Smith was great. He didn't give up an earned run in October or November, obviously, and that was when I asked the question, how did the Braves win the World Series? That's a big reason. If you were to tell me this year, all right, the Braves closer Kenley Jansen's not going to give up an earned run in October, I'm going to say we're going to win the World Series again. I think the pitching staff looks really good. I hate that Luke got hurt, obviously, even though he did drive us crazy sometimes. Look, they're going to be fine in the bullpen. They're bringing in Tyler Thornburg, who's coming off Tommy John surgery, who's had a great camp. They've got Colin McHugh, who is very, very good. Had a great year with Tampa Bay. MLB Network voted him the 6th best, and he's joining the Braves. I think they're just solid throughout the bullpen, except for Sean Newcomb, who I wish would leave, but because he can't get the ball over the plate, but he's a lefty, so they'll keep him a little bit longer. I love the bullpen. I think it's just really, really good. Spencer Strider's going to be out there, the kid from Clemson, and so we'll see how he does and how he can perform well. But I love the depth. I love the depth of the rotation. I know that a lot of people are saying, and I may be jumping your next question here, Drew, but the rotation, sure, I would have loved for them to have gotten Verlander or some of the other pitchers they were talking to at times. And they did talk to Verlander. They talked to him about coming in, and he would have been a great addition, obviously. But I think right now they have made the changes they've made on this roster, and they feel that the depth of the rotation with the young players is something they can roll the dice with. And then if they need to go get another starting pitcher at some point, well, Mr. Anthopoulos proved last year he knows how to do that in season. But right now with Max Morton and Anderson, 1, 2, 3, Kyle Wright from your area, who is ready to break out. I mean, Kyle, this is Kyle's time. This is Kyle's year. He had a great developmental year last year. He was left alone in Richmond, in Gwinnett. He was 10 years later. I'm still saying Richmond. He was just left alone there in Gwinnett and allowed to get better. And we saw the results of that, the fruits of that labor in the World Series game, where he just was outstanding in Game 4. So I think he's ready to do his job. You know, Noah was on his way to the All-Star game last year before he punched the dugout in Milwaukee. And I think Tucker Davidson and maybe Strider, Kyle Muller, who pitched well in his AAA season debut last night, is a possibility. Again, Bryce Elder, who pitched well in the last Grapefruit League game yesterday, who is a good prospect for the Braves. I mean, they have options there. And we all know it takes more than 5. We're not going to sail through 6 months with just 5 starting pitchers here. But I like those. And Tucker Davidson, who's going to be the 6th starter, I shouldn't leave him out. He's going to be the guy who's going to probably be number 6 right now. Tucker had a great spring. And so these guys are good. They're good prospects. And they're just unproven, so we don't know as much about them. But I think they're going to be really good. And if not, I trust Alex Anthopoulos to go find somebody.
Well, you bring up Alex Anthopoulos. That is where we really need to go to next. I mean, this guy did an amazing job last year in the trade deadline, put the right pieces in the right places to get the World Series title. And then this offseason, while Freddie Freeman was the big story, Alex Anthopoulos had a plan to fill it with Freddie left and a plan to fill other spots. And it looks like on paper he's succeeded.
I think he did, Scott. I think, it sounds like I'm kissing up, not that Alex is listening this morning to the show, with all due respect, but I don't know how you can have someone do a better job than what he's done in the last 4 years. I mean, I haven't agreed with everything he's done. I didn't agree with him firing the scouting director, and I don't like some of the things that he's done with the minor leagues. But as far as the construction of the big league roster, I mean, it's just hard to argue with what he's done. I mean, even if they hadn't won the World Series last year, for him to get that team the help it got in the last 2 months of the season to get them in the playoffs. I mean, we got to remember this team was not over 500 until August, the second week of August, and then they took off, obviously. But I mean, he got the pieces in here and did his job. But now, John Charles would probably tell you the biggest challenge for a GM is to construct another winning roster, not just the one you had, but the one you need to have. And obviously losing the face of the franchise is a big deal. But we felt so much better, and Alex had 100 days to think about this. We feel so much better, I think, and felt so much better when it happened for the loss of Freddie Freeman to replace him with the caliber of player that he got with Matt Olson. If that trade had not worked out and he had gotten Anthony Rizzo or had to trade for Eric Hosmer, it would be different. It would be a different feeling here. But I'm telling you, Braves fans need to get ready for a star player in Matt Olson. And I think when they see him, they're going to appreciate what Alex did to soften the blow of the loss of Freddie Freeman even more. It was a great move. He preempted the situation and had to, really, because last thing that Alex wanted to do was to wake up one morning and look on his phone and see one of the national reporters report that the Dodgers had signed Freddie Freeman and the Yankees had traded for Matt Olson. Then he would have had an oh hell moment. He didn't do that. He didn't wait for that. He was aggressive. He had to be. He got a great player at the cost of 4 prospects. That's what the prospects are for. I mean, the prospects either are to play on your team or to be included in trades, and that's what he used them for. And I think he did a great job, and I think we're going to feel a lot of appreciation for what he did. And when we see Olsen become the star, and he's already a star, but he's been in Oakland. He's been in another universe. But when Braves fans see him, they're going to fall in love with this kid.
And Bill, as we're winding it up with you, the one thing that they've done a great job of, they've locked Ronald Acuna up, they've locked Ozzie Albies up, now Matt Olson. A lot of these stars they've locked up with long-term contracts. Do you see them doing that soon with Dansby Swanson and Austin Riley? And also, the one big question is, will we see Mike Soroka at some point this year?
I hope so. I think August is his target date. After the All-Star break, our August is Mike's target date. So if everything goes well, there's very much a chance that we could see Mike Soroka in the last 2 months of the season, which would be huge. It would be like trading for a player right there. As far as the long-term deals, I mean, look, we may see some deals today around baseball to try to get it done before the start of the season. I don't know if Dansby will be one of those. We'll see. I would probably doubt it. This may be Dansby's last year with the Braves because I don't know with Dansby having the same agent as the Freddie Freeman, I don't know how that's going to go. Riley probably next year. I would probably think they would wait till next year to do that. But, of course, that's rolling the dice, too, because if he has another great year, he's just going to cost even more. But I would think from a clock standpoint, he's probably going to wait next year on Riley. Riley's the one you want to lock up. I mean, with all due respect to Dansby, he's a very good player. I think Riley's a centerpiece for the future. And I wouldn't be surprised if Carlos Correa is playing shortstop for the Braves next year, but that's another story. But nonetheless, I think if something were to happen with Dansby, it's going to have to happen today. And I don't know if they're talking or not. I have no clue. But with those agents being the same as Freddie's, I wouldn't count on it.
Well, great stuff as always from Bill Shanks, and they will get started tomorrow. As we've said, the 4-game series with the Cincinnati Reds and then 3 with the Washington Nationals. Champions Week for the Atlanta Braves, the world champion Braves, and Bill Shanks will be all over it on the Bill Shanks Show, and there'll be so much Braves conversation going on. Always is, and he is the one source we always go to for all of our Braves conversation. Well, Bill, we always appreciate the time. Thank you very much, and y'all continue to stay safe over there in the state of Georgia. And we always appreciate you coming on and talking some Braves with us for a few minutes.
You're welcome, Drew. Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
All right, Bill Shanks with us on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll switch the conversation. Talk a little college football.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Outdoor season is coming. Can't wait.
Here at Brooks & Collier, neither can we. Outdoor season is also grilling season.
And we have plenty of grills and smokers in stock from Traeger, Blaze, and Big Green Egg.
There's the greenhouse, new indoor items and home furnishings as well.
Whatever it takes. Browse over 2 acres of furnishings. Can't wait.
How about you? North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years.
813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Just got a wreck at Governor's in Montgomery. It's coming in as a no injury, and it sounds like it's going to a parking lot. Had one in the 600 block of Burwell near Quarter Mountain. They reported it with injuries, but they have now cleared it off the board. Traffic level heavy. You be careful. Watch for the fog. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
And welcome back. Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN. The Zone, Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you live from Bill Penney Toyota, sitting out here in the service department. They're open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Bring all your vehicle needs out here to Bill Penney Toyota. Let them take care of it. Right now, you can get 3 tires you can get 4 for $3, basically. So you buy 3, you get the 4th one for $1 here at Bill Penney Toyota. A lot of college football news going on in the last 48 hours. The biggest news comes out of the Big 12, but we'll fill you in on that in a little bit. But with Alabama football, it's a Jai Hall is the news, because yesterday it was announced that he was no longer part of the football team. And then a Jai Hall on Twitter comes out and says, well, that's news to me that he's no longer part of the football team. So is he or is he not?
Well, what was noticed by some folks is he was taken off of the online roster for Alabama. That thing is alphabetized, and I checked it. You can scroll down, and there is no more number 84, Jai Hall, freshman from Tampa, Florida, would be a sophomore. Is going into next season. As we know, he played in the national championship game, played a prominent role due to the injuries to John Mechie and then Jamison Williams in the first half. Did not play great, made a couple of catches, had a big drop, and really had been in the doghouse for much of the season because he wasn't doing things right. I mean, this wasn't a situation off the field where he was stirring up a bunch of trouble and things of that nature, but we're talking about being on time for meetings, practicing the right way, preparing yourself. And that's why Nick Saban had those comments about guys having an opportunity due to injury in the national championship game and not taking advantage of it.
He was one of the guys.
Jalil Billingsley, Mr. Worthless, who ended up at Texas, and then Javon Baker, who ended up at Kentucky. And now it looks like Jai Hall is gone. What I've been told is he is suspended and will soon be gone. And I know he changed his Twitter account, I think, to Agent X or something on his Twitter. He's been tweeting, stupidity for, months since he got to Alabama, and, putting up cryptic messages and just, I think, acting immaturely to me for a guy that's trying to be a football player and be big time and be, a part of a great program where he would have had a golden opportunity to be another guy that And again, I think he was too focused on A-Day last year. He thought he had come on and he was going to be, a huge part of the offense. But you got a John Mechie. Jamison Williams showed up after spring and was an All-American. And then you got, a guy, like Slade Bolden who played quite a bit. You got to wait your turn, which would have been this year. And I think he was impatient. He was petulant. He didn't handle things the right way. And now he's going to be gone. And Brandon Drum, who's been with us from OU Insider, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, wrote a story yesterday where he has, I guess, talked to some sources in Tuscaloosa and was told that, yes, it looks as though Ajay is going to move on. And he even had done a little recon and put out there that, Oklahoma, Florida, Southern California might be some destinations where Ajay is looking to move on. And hopefully he'll get another opportunity. I think he's a very talented young man, but the way he's handled himself off the field, especially from a social media perspective, is going to give some of these head coaches some pause before bringing him on, I would think.
All right, so the questions now, what does that do to the Alabama wide receiver room?
Not a whole lot because, again, the dude never really was a factor. He never made plays. He'll be taken out of the equation. For example, Scott, this spring would have been so crucial for Ajay Hall to earn the respect of his teammates, earn the opportunity to play going into fall camp. From what I understand, he didn't start practicing until this past week, and he was with the threes, made some plays, looked pretty good, but in the scrimmage this past weekend,
nothing.
You heard nothing. So, and probably that may have been the straw that broke the camel's back with Ajay. I don't know. But again, you heard some things out of, JoJo Earl. You heard things out of Trayshawn Holden. You heard things out of the freshmen that are very talented, Kendrick Law and Aaron Anderson. And you got two more talented freshmen that are going to show up, in May and June, in Isaiah Bond and Shaz Preston from Louisiana and from Florida, respectively, from Beaufort, Georgia, respectively. Pardon me. Isaiah, actually a former Florida commitment before flipping to Alabama. But you're going to have some other pieces join the fray there. And you've already got Jermaine Burton from Georgia who's establishing himself. So there's a lot of young players competing. Tyu Jones-Bell. So, Ajay was falling behind all these guys. And so him not being able to get his mind right and not being out there for the entirety of spring practice, that's it. And I just think the Alabama coaching staff is tired of, investing time in this kid, and it's time for him to go. It's time for him to restart his career. Hopefully a fresh start will do him good, and he can still be a really good college player, but it seems as though his time in Tuscaloosa is short.
Now, you mentioned, and we talked about it briefly yesterday, let's stay with the wide receiver position for Alabama. There is a guy in LSU that we don't know whether or not he is going to put his name in the transfer portal. With all this young talent coming in, is that someone, if Butte decides, hey, I want to leave, a good fit for Alabama?
Be a great fit. He's arguably the best receiver in the SEC. Now, they have a rule where with interconference transfers that supposedly went into effect where you can't transfer at this point in time within the league. But I think that's something that can be appealed too.
Okay.
That's all I'll say about it. I think if a kid really wanted to leave, it would be hard to block him from doing so. So
you look at the calendar, and it's April 6th right now.
Yeah.
Anyone, not just him, anyone that wants to put their name in the transfer portal and play this coming year needs to have it done by May 1st.
Yeah, and so here's the deal that a situation that could open up for Alabama, though. With Ajay Hall likely putting his name in the portal and moving on, we were told that there'd be one spot. Now there would be two. So Alabama could target a wide receiver to replace Ajay, and then potentially maybe a defensive lineman now if you find the right guy. Because to me, that's the spots where Alabama could use maybe an impact player. I mean, they're not going to they wouldn't turn down if he was the right guy, an impact player probably in any position, but they've already added a running back, they've already added a corner, they've already added one wide receiver. And I think by the end of this week, from what I was hearing last night, I know we've had Andrew Ivins on our show several times covering Miami. Yeah, Tyler Steen, the offensive tackle from Vanderbilt, is from that area, went to St. Thomas Aquinas. Ivans reported by the end of this week, Alabama will be the destination for Tyler Steen. He would be the 4th transfer. Okay. So they could potentially add 2 more after spring practice. And to me, if you look at Alabama's football team and what they could potentially need, we talked about replacing Fedarian Mathis and some young defensive linemen trying to step up on the team now. But if there was a stud out there that hits the portal before May, I would think Alabama would be very interested potentially in a defensive lineman or a wide receiver to add to that room, because they wouldn't turn down a guy like Keyshawn Butte or another playmaker to help Bryce Young. I mean, I
wasn't saying you would turn him down.
No, I'm just saying
you mentioned a lot of great talent coming in, and you look at this wide receiver room right
now.
Remember,
Corey Brooks is not practicing either because he's hurt. Yeah.
Right, it's completely changed from a year ago, 2 years ago, because of graduation, guys leaving early for the draft, attrition along there. Mm-hmm. I was just wondering how talented this wide receiver group is as of right now. Is it capable of helping Bryce Young? Is it good enough for Alabama to win the West? That is what I wanted to know, and that is hour 1 of Talking Ball. It is done. When we come back, we'll finish that conversation. Plus, big news out of the Big 12, and it could impact Alabama. We'll tie it all together when we return.
DQ presents. Picture this. You stand before the awe-inspiring new signature stack burger menu at DQ and your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? That's 5 taste bud tempting cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef. You peek at the loaded A1 stack burger with 2 premium sauces. Then the flamethrower stack burger with tongue-tingling jalapeno bacon. Then you realize moments like these are exactly why we have the DQ signature stack burger menu. DQ. Happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just got a wreck at Governor's in Montgomery. It's coming in as a no injury, and it sounds like it's going to a parking lot. Had one in the 600 block of Burwell near Quarter Mountain. They reported it with injuries, but they have now cleared it off the board. Traffic level heavy. You be careful. Watch for the fog. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-70s. Once we get to the middle and later part of the afternoon, there is an opportunity for some strong or severe thunderstorms associated with a cold front that'll move through the Tennessee Valley. The best chance for any severe weather is going to be across northeast Alabama, Jackson, DeKalb, and Marshall counties. Very small tornado threat does exist. The primary concern with any opportunity for strong or severe weather is going to be heavy rain and damaging winds. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The Masters Golf Tournament will begin at Augusta National on Thursday, and Tiger Woods announcing that he'll likely compete in the tournament, his first event since a car accident 14 months ago. His odds to win his 6th green jacket are plus 4,800. John Rahm is the betting favorite at plus 1,200. Justin Thomas at plus 1,300. 3 golfers all at plus 1,500, including Scott Scheffler, Dustin Johnson, and Cameron Smith. With the Major League Baseball season set to start later this week, AL and NL MVP favorites Shohei Ohtani at plus 300 and Juan Soto plus 325. For VSiN.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And with that, we do say welcome into Hour 2 of Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Coming to you live from Bill Penney Toyota, sitting here in the service department where they invite you to come out here, buy 3 tires, get that 4th one for $1. It is the Bill Penney Toyota service department, open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is Hour 2. We invite you to be a part of the show, 256-576-4977. That is the number 2. The Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want to hear from you on a Monday. And we start Hour 2 with some college football news out of the Big 12 that, if you're scribbling names down on a piece of paper, could affect Alabama. If you're scribbling names down. And that is Commissioner Bob Bowlesby making it official that he will step away from the Big 12 as role of commissioner later this year. Bowlesby saying after more than 40 years of serving in leadership roles in college athletics, it is time for him to step away. And I say scribble names down on a paper because a few candidates to watch for possible Big 12 commissioner per some industry insiders. This according to our good friend Ross Dellinger, Alabama AD Greg Byrne, Baylor AD Mack Rhodes. There's others on the list, but Greg Byrne's name attached to possible Big 12 commissioner opening.
Yeah, I mean, he's been brought up for the Pac-12 because he was at Arizona. So he's one of the best athletic directors in all of college sports. And so his name is going to come up for jobs like that. I would venture to say he probably will not take that job because the Big 12, despite it still being in the Power 5, is undergoing a huge restructuring.
Right.
And they're losing their 2 biggest brands in Oklahoma and Texas to the SEC. So it's not going to be an easy job. Certainly, he's done a great job at Alabama, enhancing the facilities, hiring great coaches, also keeping Nick Saban in the football program among the most prominent in the sport. The basketball arena, the new one, is a huge project with the Crimson Standard that he's a part of. So, but certainly when you have a great athletic director, they're going to come up with, their name is going to come up in searches like this. This is not the first time. And watching the Final Four, it was interesting. You saw him front and center, with a courtside seat as he's on, the tournament committee. And on some of those committees in college basketball, because he's a huge part of that as well. So again, Greg Byrne has done a great job since coming to Alabama. I don't blame the Big 12 for being interested in him.
Right.
But certainly it'll be interesting to see who replaces Bob Bowlesby, who didn't seem to want to take on the arduous task of continuing to restructure the Big 12.
He had been there 10 years.
Yeah.
He was a huge advocate for college expansion and everything else that goes with it. What is Bob Bowlesby's legacy as Big 12 commissioner?
Well, he's won the last 2 basketball national championships. They saw the rebuilding of the Baylor program to the pinnacle of college basketball with Scott Drew.
Right.
He saw Bill Self get back in atop the mountain. And really, you could argue that the last couple of years, the Big 12 has been the preeminent basketball league in all of the country. And certainly, they've still been a factor in the college football playoff with Oklahoma. So he's done some great things. They're good in college baseball. They've got Texas, who's been really good, but of course now they're moving on to the SEC. So and Oklahoma. So his legacy will probably be Oklahoma and Texas ultimately moving on. But still, he's done a nice job because their football is probably, you would say, third in the Power Five next to the SEC and the Big Ten. In college football, but basketball's been really good. Baseball, Oklahoma has dominated in softball, but now they're going on to the SEC. So really, I think Bob Bowlesby's done a pretty decent job, but ultimately what's going to be remembered is the Big 12 having to almost disintegrate and Oklahoma and Texas moving on to the SEC.
All right, so that is really the big news out of college football as you kind of wake up and get going on this Wednesday morning. When we finished hour one, we were talking about the Alabama wide receivers.
Right.
And I believe you were going to make a point about something.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, again, Agiye Hall was never a huge factor. He was a great talent. He reminds me, from an impact standpoint, of a guy that we saw at Alabama back in the day from our community back in the 90s from Buckhorn High School, and that's Brian Steger, who always seemed to do well in the spring and showcased big-time ability, but then never played a lot during the regular seasons before eventually moving on. Agiye Hall, in his year or so in Tuscaloosa, same situation. You saw him make plays in A-Day, but it never came to fruition on the field last year. He really could have been a factor if he had done things the right way. I think he would have been in the rotation, catching passes during the season, and then really could have been ready to go to make plays. In the national championship game when a Jamison Williams went down and John Mechie was already gone. And I think that was the point Nick Saban was making. He and Javon Baker and Jaleel Billingsley all had opportunities during the season to be a big part of the offense and establish roles for themselves, and really failed to do so. Jaleel Billingsley certainly did make a big catch on fourth down against Auburn in the Iron Bowl. But it was well documented, his inability to run routes, inability to catch passes in tight situations during the season, like at Texas A&M when they lost on the road, and in the national championship game, especially early when they were trying to establish some things against Georgia. He had a chance on a third down play, didn't run a proper route, didn't catch the football. And so it's just one of those things. And Javon Baker was another guy that I've seen make plays in scrimmages, and he didn't even, I don't believe, play in the national championship game. So it's just one of those things where it's disappointing, because I think all three of the young men had NFL talent and were good players. But it's all about mindset with Nick Saban, earning the trust of the coaching staff, doing things the right way, practicing the right way. And some of these young men have been too immature, and that's why they're in other places. We'll see if Steve Sarkisian can get more out of Jaleel Billingsley at Texas. We'll see. Jaleel is certainly a talented player. Javon Baker going on to Kentucky to play for Mark Stoops, and they've got their starting quarterback back, Will Levis, who had a pretty good year. So and then they lost Wan'Dale Robinson, so they need a go-to receiver. We'll see if Javon Baker is finally ready to step forward. And then with Agiye Hall, where does he end up? Does he end up in the SEC at Florida? Does he end up at Oklahoma? Does he end up, in a place like USC or another opportunity? So we'll see where he goes. But I think all three young men have talent. They'll have other opportunities, but their time in Tuscaloosa is done.
All right, the other news, some of you may have seen this, some of you may have not. UCS head coach, a former Auburn head coach, Gus Malzahn, was in Auburn yesterday. His wife, Christy, her father passed away, so the family was back in Auburn yesterday, and Gus Malzahn was involved in what at the time was described as a serious car accident. Malzahn is okay. It was Malzahn and a motorcyclist. The motorcyclist was flown to a trauma center in critical condition, although police do expect him to recover. But Gus Malzahn involved in a car accident in Auburn yesterday. As soon as this all happened, you saw reports that it was a recruiting trip and he was out doing this and that. He was in Auburn because Christy's father had passed away.
That's right. It was the death
and
of the
they
family.
were dealing with family issues there when they had the car accident. But everything and everybody is okay.
And that's the most important thing. I mean, you hate to hear that that Christy Malzahn lost her father, but there was nothing dastardly going on. He wasn't over there trying to poach
Steal an
players
Auburn
from
player.
Auburn players. He's already got enough of them. I mean, good Lord. I mean, but again, it was just an unfortunate situation. Prayers to the family of Christy losing her dad, but then also thankful that they're okay. Because when you hear about serious car accidents, the first thing that goes into my mind is Rod Bramlett and his wife. And you remember how tragic that turned out.
Yes.
So you just don't want to have something like that again happen to the Auburn family.
All right, 256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want to hear from you on this Wednesday morning. And it is a wet Wednesday morning. Not going to get too much baseball or softball in today, maybe. I doubt it. Going to have to dodge the rain, I think. We're supposed to have rain starting at 2 o'clock today, going all the way to about 8 o'clock tonight. So if you got any kind of outdoor games, may not get those in today. Hope Masters is good for tomorrow. But last night we did get some college baseball in, and both Alabama and Auburn victorious on the baseball diamond. Alabama a 10-1 midweek win over Samford, and Auburn gets a road win over UAB last night, 6-4. So both teams getting midweek wins yesterday.
Yeah, they did, and I had a chance to listen to a little bit of the Alabama baseball game, and with Chris Stewart and Lee Tracy on the call, and certainly Alabama was able to get a lot of arms, some work, which is what they like to do during the midweek games. And it took until around the fourth inning for the offense to get untracked, but when they did, they certainly got going. Will Hamiter, who's back from a foot injury, had broken his foot and missed a few weeks from Northridge High in Tuscaloosa. He hit his first home run and has really been swinging the bat well since coming back. As Coach Brad Bohannon said following the weekend series win over Texas A&M, Hamiter may be the best hitter on the ball club, so having him back is huge and back in that lineup. Caden Rose now hitting over 300, Scott, in his sophomore year, the former Bob Jones Patriot, playing a couple of different spots. He's played second base, he's played center field, but he's definitely an everyday player now for Alabama, so he's done a nice job. We talked about Dylan Ray getting his third save this weekend in that big Saturday win over Texas A&M, coming out of the bullpen for Alabama. So things starting to come together a little bit. Alabama 18-12. Auburn coming off of that huge road series win, 2 out of 3 over LSU. Now they have the Vanderbilt Commodores coming into town licking their wounds. Vanderbilt getting swept by the juggernaut known as Tennessee. Alabama going to face Tennessee next weekend, so oh Lord. That's all I say, because I mean that's going to be a tough series. Alabama headed to Ole Miss this weekend. That's not going to be easy either.
There.
No, it's not. But Ole Miss has struggled a little bit lately, as we know. Besides, Arkansas and Tennessee, everybody's pretty much in a log jam in the SEC right now. 5-4, 4-5.
4-5 is pretty much. I think all but 2 teams are 4-5 in the West, I believe.
Yeah.
Right now.
So right now, Auburn is a game ahead of the Tide, but it's still early. It's only 2 series in for the conference, and it'll be a lot of jockeying for position. And Alabama needs to get as many midweek wins as possible. They've already dropped some, because you heard Travis Reier on the show Monday. The thing is, when you try to get to Hoover, and if you get to Hoover, you feel pretty good about being in a regional, you need to get 13 or 14 wins in the SEC, be close to that 500 mark. And that means don't get swept.
Yeah.
And when you can, you need to win series. And so Alabama's going to be going on the road. It's always tougher to win on the road. They very well should have won the series in Starkville, Mississippi. The defending national champion, Mississippi State, has struggled some this year because of pitching injuries and to Landon Sims and others, and because of the losses in their lineup some great players that helped them, like a Rowdy Jordan, who helped them win a national championship last year. It's sometimes, even in a great program like Mississippi State, you have to retool. And I will say this, amongst the big three sports, and I'm talking about football, basketball, and baseball, by far and away, in my opinion, it's a marathon, not a sprint in baseball. It can be that way in basketball as well, but especially in baseball, and especially when you're playing in a meat grinder like the SEC, a lot of times you'll have pitchers and even position players develop over the season and finally get comfortable in their role over the second half of the conference, which is after the 15-game mark in the SEC, because you play 30 SEC games. So Mississippi State under Chris Lamona still got plenty of time. But again, Tanner Allen also gone off that team that was an All-American from the state of Alabama from Faith Academy. So there's a lot of holes being filled, and I'm sure State's best baseball is going to be played over the second half of the season. But right now, the SEC is far and away the toughest college baseball league in America.
You mentioned road wins and how hard they are to get in the SEC. This so far, Auburn right now 9-2. Auburn has picked up 9 road wins so far this year. Last year, Auburn's road record was 9-10. So Auburn, by the way, winning those close ones at home and on the road. The games they didn't win last year
due to a ton of pitching injuries.
So I mean, it's an up and down battle. It's not anything that is given, especially in the SEC. And you mentioned Tennessee right now going into the busy weekend. The Vols got their 20th consecutive win last night, did Tennessee, as they got by Lipscomb 5-1 last night. They run their winning streak to 20 games. Just kind of looking through here to see. Tennessee now welcomes Missouri this weekend, but still 20 wins in a row for Tennessee.
Yeah, 20 wins in a row. Tony Vitello's done an amazing job. We followed the progress of Jordan Beck. We know what happened with the bat last weekend, but it doesn't take away the career he's had there in his third season in Knoxville. This is an extremely talented baseball team. They're the best team in America right now. Alabama will have to go up there next weekend.
They're 28-1.
Yep, 28-1, right, number 1 in the country for the first time in history. And so they're playing at exceptionally high level right now, sweeping Vanderbilt, which is never easy to do in Nashville under the great Tim Corbin. Over the last decade, Vandy, multiple national titles, really developed into the best program in the country. But it's been amazing what Tony Vitello has just done, and I believe this is his 5th season in Knoxville, and what he's done in a short period of time, building the Vols back into a power as they were under Rod Delmonico in the mid-'90s, Scott. And so it's pretty amazing to see. It's just added to the depth of the SEC because, and then to show you how good this league is too, Georgia is off to another great start, and they sweep Florida. In Georgia last week in Athens. And so Kevin O'Sullivan, a guy that's won a national title and had a team ranked in the top 15 early in the season. The Gators struggling a little bit, but that can happen in this league if you hit a rough patch because, like, Jason Caldwell told us yesterday when he was talking about Butch Thompson and Auburn, you just have to take a deep breath, whether it be softball or baseball in the Southeastern Conference, and get your mind right and get ready every weekend because you have to compete at a high level.
You mentioned Tennessee, so you look at this. Okay, so you say they've won 20 games in a row on the diamond. They haven't played anybody, maybe. Maybe it's the softer portion of their schedule. Well, they've opened up with, in the SEC, they've opened up with South Carolina, and at the time, number 1 Ole Miss. And then 9th-ranked
and they
Vanderbilt.
Swept number 1 Ole Miss.
They swept Ole Miss, and they swept Vanderbilt. The Ole Miss series wasn't even close. 10-3, 4-3, 11-1. So you figure 25-7. They outscored Ole Miss in 3 games. That's what they did against Tennessee. All they did against Vanderbilt was beat them combined score of 16-4.
Yeah.
So they shut the Commodores out in the final
their
game.
Pitching has been as good as their offense. They have just played in every phase at a very high level under Tony Vitello.
All right, let's get that break in, because when we come back, we're talking SEC baseball. Let's flip the script. Let's talk SEC softball with one of the best, the premier coach of the SEC, Patrick Murphy, dials in next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000 square foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
The PGA Tour's Korn Ferry Tour is coming to the Rocket City. Join us at the Ledges for the Huntsville Championship, April 29th through May 2nd. Experience the beauty and drama of the course firsthand. Witness golf's rising stars chase their PGA Tour dreams. Cheer on the future of golf up close and personal. Tickets are on sale now at HuntsvilleChampionship.com.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental. Coming in April, Valley will have a second location opening up on the North Parkway between Winchester Road and Bob Wade. They'll be offering bigger contractor-only type equipment, including 10K reach forklifts, 300 series track hose, and larger rollers and dozers, along with other equipment. Valley Equipment's 2 locations will better serve the region and allow them to grow their fleet. Valley Equipment Rental, locally owned for 10 years, where they put more care in every rental.
The world champs are back. The Braves are out to defend their world championship. And behind Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and this loaded 2022 roster, a repeat is within reach.
There goes Ozzie, 2-2 on the way, hit well. Deep center field. Might have ourselves a tie ball game. You betcha.
And we'll bring you every huge moment of the Braves 2022 season right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Had a couple wrecks reported around Glen Hernon 565. One right at the interstate. The other one just off the interstate, headed toward the airport. One of those was reported as an injury type. Looking at eastbound 565 in that area, though, traffic is moving. Got a wreck at Old Railroad Bed and Tony Road, may have a minor injury. And Capshaw and R. Hammond had injuries reported. Snelling needs an experienced staff accountant. Growing downtown business. It's a direct hire position, and it's family-oriented. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
When we say local, we mean local, not Birmingham.
Loser.
We are the only sports talk station in Huntsville. It's all right here. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got a magical glow.
Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talkin' Ball with Scott and Drew.
All right, indeed, welcome back to Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone here in Huntsville. And we were talking some SEC baseball leading into the break, and I mentioned we were going to talk some SEC softball coming out of the break, and that is exactly where we're going to take the show now as we catch up with some SEC softball. And not an analyst, not anything like that. We're going straight into the dugout.
Yes, we are, and he's joined us, periodically throughout his outstanding Hall of Fame career at the University of Alabama. He's in his 24th season as head coach, 26th overall, as he has been with the program since its inception. They are ranked in every poll in the consensus top 5 in the country, whether it be 4 or 5 in America. They are they've been to the Oklahoma City to the College World Series 13 times under his tenure. Won the first national championship ever in the history of the SEC 10 years ago in 2012, and once again are a national contender. We'll see with the weather permitting. We've had weather issues again today, but they are supposed to play over in our community at Albertville in the inaugural Sand Mountain Showdown against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks later today at 6 p.m., and they're going to have a final verdict, I think, on that around 10 a.m., but we are always honored to be joined by the head coach, Patrick Murphy of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and he's with us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach Murphy, you're with Drew DeArmond and Scott Tyson. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. We got to get rid of this lousy weather on Wednesdays. I'm not sure what the heck's going on, but usually we luck out with these things. But like you said, I think we're going to probably have a decision here about 10 a.m. And, just from the very beginning, all the people at Sand Mountain have just been unbelievable with hospitality and putting everything together. And I know they sold a bunch of tickets, so, even if we don't get to play today, I'll commit to coming back up there this fall for a fall ball game against anybody that wants to play us. So, but yeah, it's disappointing, but you can't control the weather.
No, you can't, Coach. And as you mentioned, we're going to try to do this last week, and the weather was not great. Try it again this week. How important, though, is it to you to try to take these teams around the state year in and year out to play in front of a different group of fans that may not get that chance to come down to Tuscaloosa to see your teams play?
Oh, it's huge. And I'm sure you've seen some of our ticket numbers this year, but a friend of mine, Frenzy, and I think that's the best word for it. And it's like, when Jackie Trainer was with us, we went to Florida Gulf Coast to go home for her and Ryan I. Murray. They were both from Naples, Florida. So I try to go to where the girls are from at least once during their career, so we can go to their house or go by their high school and see all their friends and relatives and, anyway. And it was like the damn Beatles when Jackie Trainer went home. And now it's almost worse. I think some of our girls spent an hour and a half signing autographs after the game Monday night when we beat Georgia. It's unbelievable. This is our Western Kentucky. We're going up there in late April for Kaylee Tao, and they just announced yesterday that they're sold out. So that's the 19th sellout, home or away, of this season. And it is awesome to do that because there is a lot of people up in the Northeast Alabama to say, they don't get a chance to come down to Tuscaloosa. And for us to go there and, they can get in a car and drive 10 minutes to see us play, I think it's really cool. And we're going to continue to do it. We've been to Priceville, we've been up to Florence, we've been to Huntsville, we went to Vestavia Hills, and just these communities just absolutely love us, and we love them back.
There's no question, Coach, and I mean, and I know you guys sold out at UAB as well. It's a perfect analogy to talk about to make the comparison to the Beatles, because wherever you guys go, you sell it out, and of course you have the best atmosphere in college softball at the Rhodes House. You set the ticket records every year. I mean, it's amazing the support you get. You had a great series against Georgia, one of the best hitting teams in the country. Your team showed a lot of resiliency. coming back to take the last two games. And Lexi Kilfoyle, SEC Pitcher of the Week, her last two performances, including the perfect game, the sixth in Alabama team history on Monday night. What a way to kind of polish off that series against a high quality opponent, Coach.
Yeah, and, I'm glad you mentioned all the offensive numbers for Georgia, because I think a lot of people forgot about that. They were number one in, 7 or 8 offensive categories, and every one of their kids, just when they got up there, it was like, oh gosh, if she swings hard, she's got a chance to do damage. And for Lexi to do what she did, and the first batter of the game Monday night, it was 3-0. She got a strike, and then on the next pitch, she hit like a 4-hopper to the shortstop, and Bailey Dowling made a great play on it. That was the hardest play of the game. After that, she was ahead of everybody. I mean, she had so many 0-2 counts and finished them off on 3 pitches, and that's hard to do. There's kids that battle, and for her to do 3 pitches and, sit down, that's tough to do against a good hitting team. And you could tell as the game went along, they were starting to guess as hitters. And when a hitter starts to guess, that's when you've got them as a pitcher. And it was fun to watch. And, I looked at the lineup card because I keep the stats for Georgia. And I kept seeing, like 1 at bat, 1 at bat, 1 at bat, 1 at bat. And then it got to 2. And Dallas Goodnight had 4 at bats. And their 7, 8, 9 were already only on their second. And I really didn't realize she had a perfect game going until I saw that. And, we were going to split the game. It was going to be maybe a 4-3 or something like that with Montana. And then she just kept putting zeros up. And then when we finally scored in the 5th, I was gonna let her stay in until she gave up a hit. And then she didn't give up a hit. So just a great night for her. And I think it really showed everybody else that we have, a pitching staff that's pretty darn good.
Coach, Alabama head softball coach Patrick Murphy joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And Coach, I know we're only 12 games into the SEC schedule, but how has this team grown since that opening series against LSU?
Oh, it's huge. And, you mentioned the word resilient, and that's exactly right. Because, when you lose the first game of a series, you're doing everything possible to win the next game, and especially at home.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose a series at home in the SEC, and you certainly don't want to get swept. So for them to come back, and we got 9 new kids that they really don't, they don't know the history and everything just yet. But I thought the second game when we won 9-3 was huge for us, and it gave a lot of the young kids a lot of confidence. And then Monday night, it was just like, we're taking this series. 2012 team was in town this weekend. It was the 10th anniversary of our national championship. And that team never lost 2 games in a row all year long. And it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. They were very, very resilient. And 2 of them talked to the team before practice on Friday afternoon. And that was one of the things they mentioned. And, basically it's just grit, the ability to bounce back quickly after failure. And I thought they grew up a lot this weekend. It was fun to see.
It really was, Coach. And it's hard to believe it's already been 10 years since that team won it all. And we saw them beat Oklahoma. It shows you how quickly time goes by, and the SEC has become the preeminent and just the most dominant softball league in America. It's amazing because you got 13 members playing the sport. Most years, all 13 make the NCAA tournament, so it's a grind. And once again, though you played really well and beat a quality Georgia team at home, now you go on the road this weekend to Gainesville, Florida, against Tim Walton's Gators, and as usual, they're a fine team as well.
Oh yeah, I think in the last softball RPI, the lowest in our league was 35.
Wow.
And you usually go to around 50 for at-large bids, because you have your automatics. And then I think last year, the lowest RPI that got an at-large was 51. So if South Carolina still has a winning record at the end of the year, and they're, anywhere from the top 40, they're probably going to get in. So we'd have all 13 teams again get in the NCAA tournament, and it doesn't happen in any other sport. But we're so loaded top to bottom, and obviously Florida's one of them, that whenever you go on the road, you're basically getting prepared for super regionals because it's, 2 out of 3 really. And the atmospheres are getting better and better. We had great crowds in South Carolina. They had great crowds at LSU, and I'm certain that they'll have great crowds at Florida this weekend.
Well, then, Coach, how do you attack Florida? What do you do? What kind of buttons do you push this weekend?
Yeah, they've got athletes at every position. Like everybody else. I think one of the things, if you paid attention to SEC softball over the years, we've gone from a Jackie Traina and a Monica Abbott to pitching staffs where, LSU had 6 young ladies. South Carolina had 7 pitchers on their staff. And Florida has like 4 or 5. So the key to me, and Georgia, they used 5 girls in one game. But the key to me was the way we made adjustments on the second game against Georgia, because they changed pitchers a lot. And we never let anybody get comfortable. Like one girl came in and we had 2 hits in a row and he took her out. So for me, that was a great job by our hitters. Because sometimes it's difficult where a kid comes in and she gets in a groove, and then before you know it, you look up and it's the 7th inning and you're still down 2 runs. So whoever they pitch, you knock out the starter, but then almost as important, you make sure you get rid of the reliever too. So he has to keep making changes on the pitchers. So, and then they have a lot of speed this year. It's probably one of his fastest teams, and they lead the SEC in stolen bases. So Allie Shipman, our catcher, really has not had a lot of people try to steal against her. So this is going to be a fun weekend to see who wins that part of the game.
Well, and Coach, one thing you mentioned, 9 new players on your squad. A couple of those were from the transfer portal, one being Allie Shipman, who spent the first part of her career at the University of Tennessee. She's made a seamless transition for you, hitting over 400, as you said, playing outstanding defense behind the plate. And you've had such a rich tradition of catching at the University of Alabama. But talk about the transfer portal. Ashley Prongi as well from Ohio State. She's come in and been a stalwart at third base. Talk about adding a couple of huge pieces from the transfer portal to your lineup this year.
Well, I said this to a buddy, in the fall. If you paid attention to Alabama football, 2 of their biggest kids that they added, one was from Tennessee and one was from Ohio State. And as the season went along, they just kept playing great football for Coach Saban. And as just coincidence, we had the Shipman from Tennessee and Ashley from Ohio State. And never, I don't think I would have guessed that one would hit 2 spot and one would hit the 3 spot. But they have just been tremendous. One thing that I was worried about going into this year was, Kaylee Tao was our only senior, and then Montana was the other one with all the experience. That was it. Everybody else was really young. So next year when we lose seniors, the only one that we lose is Kaylee. So we're still a pretty young team. But when Ashley and Allie came in, one of the things they really added was that leadership and that experience, because one played in the Big Ten for 3 years, and then obviously Allie played 3 years in the SEC. And that has helped Tao and Montana with just leading the team. And they both came in and they do it the right way. They didn't come in and neither one tried to take over. They kind of read the room. And then, it's just been, I feel like they've been here for 4 years, both of them. Just their personalities have fit in, and we got really, really lucky with both of them.
Coach, that transfer portal is something else, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, for softball, the word portal just kind of stuck with people, but we've never, in softball, you didn't have to sit out. We had immediate. And we even had, which is one of the worst rules that we have. Let's say you played at Alabama in the fall and you wanted to go somewhere else in the spring. You can do that still in softball.
Mm.
I don't think you should be able to transfer mid-year, but it's still a rule in softball that you could do that. But, we've had kids that, and I certainly never held anybody, like if they didn't want to be here, that's fine. They can go wherever they want. There was other times where schools would say, okay, if you want to leave us, you can only go to X, Y, and Z. But softball has always been like, you can leave after the first year and you're eligible immediately. Basketball, baseball, football, basically every other sport, you had the 1-year transfer rule where you had to sit out. But softball, it was never like that. So it's not as big of a difference for us. It's just the name of it has, I think, probably gained attention.
Well, and Coach, I got to ask you too. You've done such a great job of building a family atmosphere in Tuscaloosa with your softball program, and so much of that has enhanced the recruiting process. And you've had some great recruiting classes in your time, but I don't know if I can remember you having so many impact freshmen this year. Dallas Goodnight, who's batted leadoff quite a bit, she's been unbelievable. Megan Bloodworth had such a great start to the season and then made that great defensive play looking like Willie Mays this past weekend on the double play with her back to the infield against Georgia. Aubrey Barnhart had a big at-bat, a big moment in the Georgia series. There is some outstanding young talent on your roster right now that we're seeing mature as the season goes on.
Absolutely. And, I think one of the things in fall ball when we noticed, because, I play everybody in fall ball, and there was a game where all 6 freshmen played, and they all kind of balled out. And, the reaction on Monday was, man, you got a bunch of great athletes. And I think that was the thing that stood out to our fans and, the fellow coaches at Alabama that was like, wow, he's got some good athletes this year. They can play anywhere. We have a young lady from Trustville that's done some good things too, Jenna Lord.
Yes.
We have the Michigan Player of the Year, Callie Hevlin, who really hasn't got to show what she can do because Bailey Dowling's in front of her. She's another great athlete. So it is, it's fun to coach, and I think the future looks really, really good. And, we have 3 kids coming in next year. One kid from up by you guys from Hartsville, Larissa Pruitt, who's throws right, hits left, tall, lanky, fast, going to be a green light girl, but she has pop. Marley Giles is down near us, catcher, tremendous power. And then we have our first kid ever from North Dakota, who 6'1" shortstop, but she was the state player of the year in basketball, scored over 2,000 points, and won 3 state championships during her time at her high school. So we've got 3 really, really good athletes coming, and it's just going to be like a stable of kids that I can pick and choose, and I'm not going to lose anything, regardless who plays.
And then you talked about Bailey Dowling. She came in with such expectations, but of course she had the injury last year, the ACL. How is she coming along with her knee? And when do you think she'll be totally? Is she 100% now, or is that going to be a process as the season goes on?
Yeah, that's a tough injury to come back from.
Mm-hmm.
She tore it basically a year ago, or probably March, and was released right before she went home for Christmas. 100%. She's passed all the tests, and now it's like a it's a tough psychology thing where you want to go all out, but you're always just a little thing in the back of your head, like don't hurt yourself. But she's just starting to hit for us. She had a good weekend, hit the ball hard several times, a couple times right at people. But she's got a lot more in her, and I think it'll happen before this year. Because she was leading our team in home runs and RBIs when she got hurt last year as a true freshman. So I think she's going to be fine. She's been playing really good defense, and her hitting's going to come through for us.
No question. Then my final thought from you, Coach, how was it having those young ladies back from your national championship team back on campus on Saturday?
It was awesome. 18 of the 20 on the roster. One, unfortunately, got food poisoning, and she couldn't make it. So we had kids back. We had their parents back. We had spouses. It was just unbelievable. The total party was around 85 people, and a lot of them hadn't seen campus for a while, and just to go around the university to see all the new things and new buildings, it's really cool for the reaction. And then the best thing, though, is for our current team to meet those young ladies. And just every story they told, just to meet Jackie Traina was something special for a lot of our kids. So it's a fun time when we have reunions.
No doubt. Well, Coach, good luck as the season continues to unfold. Alabama 31-5 now, 8-4 in the SEC, ranked in the top 5 in the country. Once again, one of the elite programs in all of college softball. We hope to see you at 6 o'clock tonight. It doesn't look great right now with the Sand Mountain Showdown against Jacksonville State, but as you said, if the game is canceled or called off, you will definitely be open to coming back in the fall for the folks over in Albertville who have done such a great job showing you such hospitality. But we always appreciate you coming on with us and talking some Alabama softball, and thank you so much for your time this morning.
Yeah, anytime. Roll Tide.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Let's get that final break in. Your tomorrow's headlines today when we return.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Hey, Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford back again to talk to you about how easy it is to make a custom factory order. Just click WoodyAndersonFord.com, hit the top banner, then start making your selections. It's really simple, and you'll end up with the exact vehicle you want. Not only is there no extra charge to custom order, but at Woody Anderson Ford, we'll take 5% off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates on the 2022 F-150, Bronco Sport, Explorer, Expedition, and Ranger. Another option for you is a certified pre-owned. We have over 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified are low mileage, gently used with great warranties. They've passed a 175-point inspection by certified technicians and come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Also, don't forget our service department is offering a free pickup and delivery when it's time for your next Ford service. Woody Anderson Ford, Jordan at Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
Outdoor season is coming. Can't wait.
Here at Brooks & Collier, neither can we. Outdoor season is also grilling season.
And we have plenty of grills and smokers in stock from Traeger, Blaze, and Big Green Egg.
There's the greenhouse, new indoor items and home furnishings as well.
Whatever it takes. Browse over 2 acres of furnishings. Can't wait.
How about you? North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years.
813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Still got lots of fog around as we wrap things up this morning. Just got a wreck in Decatur, Sandlin, and the Beltline reported with injury. Eastbound 565 at County Line right at the ramp. That one reports an injury. Old Railroad Bed in Tony may still be working. I-65 southbound south of the 334. Nobody hurt there. Capshaw and R. Hammond was reported as an injury type. Still may be working it. Do you know who to call when you need a heart doctor? You could write this name down so you have it in the future. Dr. Randall Burns is at Huntsville Heart Specialist, where they have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And welcome back to Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you. And during that break, you were asking, we were talking about Brewer Hicklin.
Yep, that's
right. Where he might end up. And according to the Omaha Storm Chasers, this is the AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals, one Brewer Hicklin is listed as an outfielder for the Omaha Storm Chasers. And he is not on the 40-man roster for the Royals. It does not list him as a member of the 40-man roster, but it does list him as on the Omaha Storm Chasers roster, which is the AAA affiliate to the Kansas City Royals.
And we're excited about that because Brewer's worked his way up since becoming a 7th-round draft pick, and at the time, it was the highest drafted UAB player ever. And he's worked his way up through the Royals organization, and I believe he ended it with AA last year, Scott. So now he's making that next step to AAA, and which means he's just tantalizingly close to the big leagues. And so he hit a home run for the Royals in spring training as a non-roster invitee this year. So he's in their plans, I think, and he's worked his way into being one of their top prospects, and we're excited for him. And hopefully, whether it be this year or next year, we'll see Brewer Hicklin making a major league debut, which would be just an unbelievable accomplishment for one of the finest athletes and finest people that's ever graced our city, and a former Huntsville High Crimson Panther.
The other big story really to report, I don't even know if this is a big story, but I don't even know how it became a story. Mm-hmm. And that is the company that put together the Final Four floor. Try saying that fast.
Final Floor 4. Oh, I've screwed it up. Final Four floor.
Yes. Yeah. So you remember Armando Baycott.
Right. Who
twisted his
ankle twice, yes.
Yes, did it on the Final Four floor.
Re-aggravated it, yep.
And everybody was watching the video in slow motion, and they noticed the floor kind of dip a little bit.
Yeah.
So everybody, all the conspiracy theorists and everybody out there felt like, oh my gosh, the floor is bad. It's a bad panel in the floor. How could they do this? That's what the NCAA gets for playing it on a stage. That's what they get for elevating the floor and all this other stuff. Well, what people don't realize is those floors have springs in them. And those floors actually give. If you go to Spraggins Hall on the campus of UAH and you walk into Spraggins Hall, UAH's floor has a little bit of give in it. Mm-hmm. And it has a little bit of a spring in it, and so when you can actually see it kind of bend a little bit, but that's what good basketball floors usually have. They're not played on concrete, hard floors. So the company said the company did release something, say, no, there was no malfunction of the floor. It was okay. That's how it was supposed to be. So basically, stop it.
Yeah, and speaking of college basketball, we haven't talked about it a lot on the show, but Jaden Shackelford has moved on from the University of Alabama. He has hired an agent. Jabari Smith, same thing for Auburn yesterday. Yes. He officially, no surprise, moved on to the NBA draft, hired an agent. Is going to
be was a matter of time.
A top 3 pick. We know Walker Kessler has also moved on from Auburn. Those three were expected. I even expected Jaden Shackelford because he put 3 years in at Alabama. As you remember, last year he declared for the draft, went through the process, also went into the transfer portal, but ultimately came back to Alabama. I think his mindset has been to move on to the NBA. We haven't seen J.D. Davison's official announcement from the University of Alabama. Still expecting him to move on and declare for the NBA draft. More than likely hire an agent. So Alabama and Auburn will have to retool. And Mark Sears, the transfer from Ohio, he's heard from a ton of schools. And he's heard from the Gonzagas, the West Virginias, Alabama, and Auburn. He's a guy that's going to be highly sought after. I do think that Alabama is heavily involved along with Auburn, and I think Alabama would very much like to bring Mark Sears in. I think he's priority number 1. But Alabama, I think, is going to have as many as 3 spots potentially open for transfer portal additions, Scott. I still stick to what I've said about Juwan Gary, Darius Miles, Namari Burnett, Charles Bediako, Noah Gurley being the 5 to return for the Crimson Tide, in my opinion. We'll see if that holds. But Alabama's had Keon Ambrose Hilton, Juson Holt, certainly, and Alex Cheeky go into the portal. Auburn lost Cambridge, who transferred with his brother to Arizona State. So as we've seen, a lot of movement in college basketball. And then Duke, they lose one of their assistant coaches, Nolan Smith, a Duke graduate who played for Coach K. He is hired as Kenny Payne's lead recruiter at Louisville. Just basically offered him a ton of money to leave Duke, and his father, of course, was a prominent Louisville alumni and former player there.
All right, so there you go. There you have it. That's going to do it for our Wednesday edition of Talking Ball. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7 o'clock from the studio. It is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. See ya, everybody. We'll see ya on Thursday.